aka Padders. Welcome back to the channel. We're rocking and rolling, and look, sometimes I get so into comics, or just like into a vein of something I'm enjoying. It's not just comics, but for right now, and come on, let's go, Black History Month, we got something cool. We got something cool that just dropped, and I just felt like this character that's in this has been deeply ignored, deeply overlooked, especially when we come into this love affair now with multiverses and things like Flashpoint and the Flash running through time and the infinite fascination with the Silver Surfer. We have a counterpart, and it's not Wave Runner or Air Runner. Who the hell was that guy from Zero Hour? Wave Runner, Air Runner. Oh my, I forget his name. But Dane Jurgens drew the hell out of that. Dane Jurgens drew the hell out of that guy. He's over there. But no, let's hit the drawing table. Let's get into the Black Racer, created, not even co-created, right? Created by the one and only, the King, Jack Kirby. We gotta check it out. Alright, aka Padders, let's get to it. Now look, quick caveat. I shot a few videos, I've done a lot of comic pages. A day or two have went by since I've shot that intro and outro. But we're here. Let's review this. Let's get into Orion of the New Gods. See, a lot of people call this book The New Gods. The title of the book is Orion of the New Gods. As you can see, he's on the cover twice. We got him at the top left corner, and we have Orion. This is not Orion. This is Orion. We have to keep in mind the original Orion has almost like a destroyed, beat up, war-torn devil's face. But on the cover, we have the photographic background, or we call this like a stat background. But we got the Black Racer, and we got, see, so they don't highlight him on the cover, but this is the Sugar Man. This was New York City, Times Square back in the day. This was so much a part of the culture. These are the names some of these characters have had since then. So we open up, and we open this up beautifully. We have Light Ray here trying to outrun the Black Racer. We got him here. We got the Kirby Crackle. See, so some of this issue too, I want to just highlight and try and take note on exact, like how well Kirby is drawing his hair. But Light Ray is trying to outrun the Black Racer. He shoots all of his Light Ray power into this crystal meteor to reflect it, to magnify it, and he torches the Black Racer. And the Black Racer is so freaking quick. And the Black Racer is essentially like, look, dude, like, don't you know, didn't they talk about me on New Genesis? I can easily evade this stuff. And Light Ray's like, I have to persevere. I have to keep going. So, we're back in New York City. We're back in the modern day at the time. Now, keep in mind, modern day is 1971. We have Orion. So this is an element of the New Gods that is completely forgotten. The New Gods became a little bit of like a dragnet made from an uncle. Get Smart. It was a urban, like, spy, guys in suits type book. This note within the New Gods was very popular during the day. Check out the Kirby here. So we have Orion becoming Orion, and this is his gang of investigators. And look, he's got to suit up his face. So we see Orion's original face here. Now, well, you know, I know we're talking about the Black Racer, we got to talk about it, but see, now this is the formation of they're almost like G-Men. And it's so interesting that this is a God versus God superhero saga, and we literally have people putting on suits, doing covert operations against one another. It really makes the New Gods interesting, and it is a sign of the time. Okay, so we're back. Light Ray gives Black Racer everything he has. Black Racer, I mean, look at the Kirby hair. The hair in this issue, just, I have to note it every time I see it. But Light Ray's about to reach The only thing he has to do is touch Light Ray. But Black Racer, we see in the previous panel, Black Racer's about to do it, and then boom, a boom tube. So essentially what happens here, Black Racer races into the boom tube, and then I guess there's like a second boom tube or a portal, and basically it's like, hey, we have the Morbius chair, and we're like, hey, we got the Morbius chair, we can do anything we want. But don't you know, like, you could have done everything I did for you. So there's a little bit of a lesson there. It's also like, from issue to issue, Light Ray, he's a lot like the Human Torch. He's a day late, he's a buck short, he's too young, he's too aggressive, doesn't have wisdom. You know, like, he's very much Spider-Man. And I again, people have to compare. Like, that's a very fair comparison. Light Ray has the Spider-Man mentality, but then look. So instead of sending the Black Racer to a place that's safe and doesn't have people, the Black Racer is literally sent to New York City. That's it. So okay, and then we have the Sugar Man at a shootout. Great panel here. We have one of my favorite Kirby panels too coming up. But Sugar Man, like, literally is about to shoot this Vietnam vet just randomly. He just wants to shoot him, and then the Black Racer just walks through the wall, breaks the gun, and then he does something. He cures the Vietnam vet that's bedridden just by touching him. And this is one of the, like, all-time Kirby panels there. And then disappears. The helmet is full of ash and dust, and then this individual becomes the new Black Racer. And what we find out later is that the Black Racer, like, all of his it's almost like everyone who has worn the Black Racer, everyone that the Black Racer has touched, they almost have a shared consciousness. They have a shared knowledge. Completely deep, very interesting, very broad for the day. But then we're back with Orion, we're back with Sugar Man, with Intergang. Remember, Orion's on Earth to fight Intergang. Intergang is the proxy of Darkseid on Earth, but Intergang fixes up Sugar Man. They have a bomb, because, you know, they're bad guys, they have to have a bomb. Orion tracks them down, busts through the wall, a little bit of a gunfight. But this is that panel I was telling you about. This right here. Look at that. Right here. It's so interesting. There's so much happening in that panel. But yeah, so essentially Black Racer catches up to Sugar Man with the bomb. The bomb gets sent off. The bomb gets nuked. And then we have... Here we go. Let's wrap it up. Orion is continuing his investigation, continuing his fight against Intergang within New York City, and then we have this, like, little bit of a reset where we don't really know exactly what happens, but the Black Racer goes back into the mortal body, goes back into the broken Vietnam vet, and then we just sit there. And we're promised that the Black Racer will return. So when I say things like the Black Racer is more interesting than Silver Surfer, this is what I mean. If he touches you, you're dead. He's earthbound, but he's also not earthbound. He's also intergalactic, but he's also tied to Earth. He's tied to humanity a lot more than Silver Surfer. And, you know, he does edge out Silver Surfer on a lot of those notes. And look, we have to keep in mind that the world that the Black Racer is inhabiting, the version of New York City that he's inhabiting, this is before, like, Times Square became littered with Disney and got cleaned up. New York was a very rough city during 1971, and the Black Racer embodying a Vietnam veteran of this era, and then having the power that the Black Racer has, is more poignant and is way more meaningful than anything that happened with Nora and Red. Nora and Red and Galactus and Fantastic is so fanciful compared to this. This is grounded in absolute reality. And I also feel like this issue does a great job at highlighting what Kirby was really trying to do with Orion and the New Gods. He was really trying to do G-Man, Get Smart, Man from U.N.C.L.E., guys in suits, like James Bond, but not fully James Bond. But this was covert versus covert right here. And then we have the insanity and the bright and the chaotic power of the New Gods and everything that came with it. The contrast of these two pages, it's near perfect, people, and it's so crazy and it's so bizarre. But when people compare Kirby with Stan Lee, and a lot of people like to take away Stan Lee's contribution, the only thing you have to do is really, like, if you read this page 4 and you read it with a new set of eyes, Stan Lee had a way of captioning, and even through the dialogue, of setting up events and explaining previous events. You have no idea what happened in the previous issue when you read this, and that's the problem. Stan Lee was an absolute master of summoning. He summed it up, and then he moved it forward. So when Kirby's on his own, when Kirby's doing it by himself, there's none of that. So we have to make those points. But people, let's wrap this up. Boom, and we're back, everyone. The ideas and the direction of the New Gods. When Kirby, it's almost like one of the reasons why everything with the New Gods just resonates from generation to generation. Like every 10 years, there's just like a new take, new expansion, and new ideas poured into. We can call it a side universe of the DC universe, everything regarding the New Gods. It's a creator's playground, and Jack Kirby, we're getting to the point of why it resonates. It really resonates because he had something to prove when he sat down to do these books. And the very idea of the Black Racer, it's just too fun. It's just too awesome. And it's also perfectly comic book weird. And I just feel like I keep harping on it, but we need more of that today. And this is, I'm just gonna put this down. Side tangent here, my AKA padders. A lot of these videos I do, a lot of these comic book looks, I would love nothing more than to only do new material, new ideas, new creators, new properties, new characters, new storylines, new artists, new writers, new colorists, the entire spectrum, new publishers. There's nothing more. I mean, in the DNA of my bones, in the marrow of my bones, there's nothing more I would want to do than to emulate so much of what Jack Kirby put into his pages and go out into the world, into the ether, and discover what's new and what's next. There's nothing more I would want to do than just focus on that. But I'm trapped. I have to talk about Kang. I have to talk about Quantumanium. I have to talk about James Gunn, because that gets views, that gets clicks, that gets comments. Everything else is dog food. No one watches it, no one comments, no one rebroadcasts, no one even cares. People, but we're going to keep growing, we're going to keep this direction, and along the way, we're going to highlight and discuss more and more of the unknown, of the new, of the now, that you should be paying attention to, because we have too much focus on the past, too much focus on nostalgia. And there's people, I'm one of them, but there's people like us that want the new. We want the now, and we want to obliterate the past. And we want to destroy it, make it ancient history for a reason. And that's because even as a culture, we can move on once the past is obliterated. That doesn't mean we don't honor it, we don't respect it, but we gotta obliterate it and move on. AKA Pad here, rock and roll.